Welcome, friends. This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric, and today we're going to recap Mizzou's loss at Arkansas. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and Instagram. Guys, there's a lot of frustration that you can take out of this game down in Fayetteville. I'm going to start with the defense just to get it out of the way. They played pretty well. They held Arkansas about 60 yards below their season average rushing the football. And you can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Arkansas is good running the football, and they had 163 yards rushing. I would have taken that at the beginning of the day. KJ Jefferson, 262 yards passing on only 15 completions, tells you that the secondary guys just got lost, got beat on a couple of plays. And that really was the story of the defense. They played well overall. They just gave up too many chunk plays. So close, not bad overall, but not enough to, win the game by themselves, which is what they were going to have to do because the offense was just so awful, specifically the passing game. Tyler Beatty running the ball, 219 yards, career high 41 carries, And he now has the single season rushing record at Mizzou. I never thought that would get touched, but 5 200-yard games, and man, Beatty's just a monster. They did it behind an offensive line that was mediocre. They gave him the room for 219 yards, but it's not like they were just bulldozing guys. So, that was good. Defense was pretty solid. The passing game. Oh, man. There's just so much here. Connor Bazelak was just awful. I don't know what the right word is for how bad of a performance that was. 65 yards passing. That's a first quarter number, not an entire game. That is the lowest passing total Missouri has had since 2014. And, he wouldn't get any help. Let's get all this out here. There was one play where, was it Boo Smith, I think it was wide open down the field, and Bazelak overthrew him. Got to hit that pass. But that was the only time all day that I remember a Missouri receiver getting separation. Instead, Bazelak was going to have to throw the ball into tight windows, into guys that were covered. At least one of the sacks, he stood there. There was a coverage sack. No one could get open. He should have thrown the ball away, but he was standing there just like, guys, someone get open. At the end of the day, though, the quarterback gets all the credit, all the blame. And in this case, Connor Bazelak gets a lot of blame. A lot of the passes that he was throwing, they seemed to be just getting a lot of air under him. There weren't a whole lot of line drives, just kind of bullets. They all seemed to get a lot of air under them. And there wasn't a whole lot going on in terms of throws over the middle of the football field, which, that David said in the preview for this game, that is what was effective against Florida. So it was a bit disappointing to see that wasn't a major factor in the passing game. The big question coming out of this game is, why did Coach Drink stick with Connor Bazelak for so long? He said repeatedly how Bazelak's the best option to win the football game and all that. And then in the post-game press conference after the Arkansas game, Drink said that he stuck with Bazelak because he didn't want to pull a guy immediately after an interception, referencing the pick that Bazelak threw in the second half. He didn't want to pull him immediately after that to think it was like a punishment or something like that. Here's the deal. He did that exact thing 2 weeks ago against South Carolina. Bazelak threw an awful pick, and he got yanked. So, honestly, I think Drink is just trying to cover for his guys and not say, well, my quarterback sucks, so we're trying something else. That's that's what Drink is communicating without saying it, in my mind. So you have a coach who has no confidence in any quarterback on the roster. You look at the end of the first half, Missouri got the ball with about a minute and a half to go and a timeout. And the first couple of plays were runs. If you're inside the 10-yard line, inside the 20-yard line, sure, run the football, see if you get a good play. Then maybe, hey, you know what? Now we can take a shot. They start with the ball at the 25, 30-yard line. With Harrison Mevis as your kicker, you absolutely have the time and the field position to go for it. And to run, even with Tyler Beatty in the backfield, is, normally I'd say it's cowardly. But in this case, it is a complete lack of trust in Connor Bazelak. And by not putting Brady Cook or Tyler Macon in there, it is a complete lack of trust in either of them. So that's the issue here is, in Coach Drink's mind, he doesn't have a quarterback on the team. So that means, in my mind, that I think Mizzou might look at a grad transfer, because you cannot expect Sam Horn, the highly rated commit, you can't expect him to come in as a true freshman and win the job. That's not fair to ask him to do that, especially because he's not enrolling early. He's a pretty highly touted baseball prospect. He's going to play baseball this spring. So he won't make it to campus until the summer. Meaning, I think you have to look at a transfer. To me, Miles Brennan, the former LSU quarterback, shredded Mizzou's defense for 400 yards passing it when Mizzou and LSU played last year. I don't know why you wouldn't take a shot on a guy like that. Maybe he's your starter for a year, and then Sam Horn's ready. Maybe he beats out Sam Horn and Bazelak and everyone else. At this point, with Drink having a complete lack of trust in every quarterback in his quarterback room, I don't see a reason to not take a shot at a quarterback grad transfer. Anyway, that is all I've got for the Mizzou-Arkansas game. It's pretty simple, guys. Passing game. It's really all it is. That's all I've got. As I said, stay tuned. We will be back with coverage of whatever bowl game Mizzou ends up playing in. And we're going to transition more into Mizzou basketball, more Blues coverage, and we'll keep an eye on what the Cardinals are doing this offseason. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope to see you guys next time.